Welcome to another day in the Matrix. This is Waters Above. We have a lot to get into in today's video since the last Federal Reserve FOMC meeting went how we anticipated, with the market responding negatively, and this recent sell-off was what we were preparing for around these exact dates. We're right on schedule and everything is going according to plan. So in today's video, I'll be sharing my thoughts on this downturn in the traditional markets and its effect on crypto and how we could take advantage of this moment. If you've been following along here for some time, you know we've been preparing for this moment for almost a year now, and it's finally here. So these are truly the final moments leading to opportunities that can create generational wealth. And I don't say that lightly. This is not a time to get lost in distractions. Stay focused, take notes, and invest your attention into what resonates with you and avoid the drama and static in the background. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, Numerology, and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to stay updated when new videos come out. And make sure to give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious beings to help grow our community. And with that being said, let's take the clear pill. So we need to get into a very important date that I believe we should all be paying attention to. September 29th, this Friday, is a day that's on my radar, connecting to March 10th, 2023, the day of the Black Swan event when Silicon Valley Bank failed. This is 203 days apart. This in numerology, you remove the zero, it becomes 23, like how Bitcoin is 23 in Chaldean, as well as the term Black Swan equals 23, full reduction. Although for me, if I really had to dial in a time for a Black Swan event or significantly noticeable market downturn, it would be closer to the upcoming solar eclipse on October 14th. And I'm actually currently in the process of creating my next full-length decode presentation titled The Great American Eclipse Decoded, which will be released on Patreon for my Mastermind community membership in the first week of October, just about a week away, so you can look forward to that. And if you're interested in becoming a Patreon supporter, you can join now and get access to my newest Red Pill podcast I just released a couple days ago, where I focused a lot on mindset and preparation for this next phase in the market cycle, and how I believe it's one of the last lucrative opportunities we have to take advantage of this market before significant changes on the world stage that will continue to shrink the middle class and further the gap of wealth separation between the global elite and the 99%. I received incredible feedback on that podcast, and I appreciate and am grateful for all the support. So I'm looking forward to sharing this new decode, and I can tell you right now, these decodes keep getting better. I uncovered some serious gems while I was doing my research, and anyone who's a Patreon supporter of mine can vouch for that. So let me know in the comments below your favorite decode of mine that I released this year. I would love to know what resonated with you the most. So getting back to September 29th, since it's also the date of this month's full moon. Now, this will be most likely negative in the market. We're aware of this. We typically see negative energy around full moons, and we see more positive energy around new moons. Well, September 29th, don't be surprised if the stock market continues to drop further over the next couple days. And of course, this would influence Bitcoin in the overall crypto market. This upcoming full moon is called the harvest moon. The harvest is associated with Kronos, or Saturn, and September 29th also happens to be the day leaving 93 days in the year. And you could see in the code, Gematria, you have Saturn equals 93, as well as harvest equals 93 in the same cipher. Again, the day of the harvest full moon is the day that leaves 93 days left in the year. So you see how we're combining all these coding systems together to get more confluence. Saturn is Satoshi, Father Time. Bitcoin runs the energy of this crypto market, and Bitcoin's price action is based on the energy of the sun and the moon. The sun and the moon are symbols of the light and the dark, the day and the night, the day cycle, which is 24 hours. And I'll break down this code a little bit more for you guys. We have Satoshi Nakamoto. It equals 89 in reverse reduction. 89 is your 24th prime number, and it also equals 181. That would be the 42nd prime number. And this is your as above, so below, the mirror, 24 and 42. To go even further, Satoshi equals 24 in Chaldean. Again, Satoshi is Saturn, who is Father Time in this matrix. Saturn, by the code, giving you 21 in Chaldean. His symbol is the scythe, equals 21 in the same cipher. There are 21 million Bitcoin in supply. Think about this. Signature Bank also failed on March 12th of this year. And if we tie those together between March 12th and Friday, September 29th, you'll see that they are 201 days apart. You remove the 0, you get to 21. You see the pattern here? Maybe even some of you have heard of this. Event 201. Well, if you haven't, do some research. So it's very important that you see this Saturnian essence in all of this code, because Saturn is the most worshipped in this simulacrum by the apex predator, whose bloodline goes back to Sumerian times. And every time they roll out a new economic blueprint, it comes back to mythology and astrology. Saturn and Uranus rule the Aquarian age, and this is why they're preparing us for a blockchain economy, to be chained to the block in a cashless society. And as you transition into a new age, they destroy the symbols of an old age. But we're not there yet. And if you're watching this video today, know that you're here for a reason. You aligned with this space here at this exact time, and it's because you have the eye to see amongst a populace that is blind. You're here because your intuition brought you here to gather this knowledge and convert it into wisdom, which is applied knowledge. So getting back to this number 24 that I was speaking about moments ago, it's very crucial for you all to pay attention to this number, because we're in the year, the Hebrew year, 5,784, adding up to 24. And we're moving into the Gregorian year of 2024, which we shorten to 24, which is all about the letter and the symbol, more importantly, X, which is your 24th letter in the alphabet. I'll be decoding this thoroughly in my upcoming presentation I mentioned earlier, The Great American Eclipse Decoded, because it's all about this symbolism and how the global elite will ritualize the X and continue to ritualize the people, and what we can do to avoid this negative energy and ultimately take advantage of it. See, that's what we're really about here, transmuting the fear and negativity into power and inspired action. So this upcoming Friday should be interesting, going into the weekly close for the stock market. And since it will also be a monthly close with the traditional markets opening back up on Monday, October 2nd, that could definitely enhance the volatility. So this Friday is not only just the weekly close for the traditional market, it is also the monthly close for September. And we know that crypto trades alone over the weekends, and that puts the crypto monthly close on this Saturday. Again, we were talking earlier about Saturn and Satoshi. Well, this Saturday is the day after the full moon. It's very typical for Bitcoin and the overall crypto market to close the month of September in the red. I've spoken about this for a while now to anticipate downwards pressure into Q4, and we're doing what we typically do, even in a pre-election year, which this is. And again, I'll be releasing my next Red Pill podcast over on Patreon this Sunday, October 1st, to review our monthly close and to set up into the start of a new month of October, and what I believe will be the most important month to be aware as an investor in this space. And I'll be kicking off the month of October with that new Red Pill podcast and the Great American Eclipse Decoded in preparation for this very important time in the market cycle. So before we get into the TA, go ahead and give this video a like if you haven't already, and spread some love in the comment section. That's what we're all about here. Now, before I get into Bitcoin, I would actually quickly like to head over to the Dow Jones, because we're seeing something unfold, which I told everyone to be aware of and to be prepared for, which is a very important break of this support level right here, around 33,700 for the Dow. As of the last couple of days, we've started to break it, and we've gotten below this 618 fib. Starting to break below the golden pocket, this is a sign of weakness, although we do have this major prior resistance trend line, which effectively flipped as a support back on June 26th before we went one leg higher. So it's a confirmed support as of now. We're gravitating and magnetizing right back to that level. If we break that level, I suspect we're going to quickly head to the 382 fib, even as deep as the 236 fib, and that would be an additional 8, 9, almost 10% loss for the Dow, which would be an even bigger loss in the NASDAQ, pulling tech stocks down pretty harsh. We're going to see the DXY respond, obviously, by going up. I talked about this breakout on the DXY, most likely to this 0.5 fib level, somewhere around 107, and it's showing its teeth today. We might even hit that before the end of this month. So we're in the process now of watching a lot of our thesis, a lot of our technical analysis over the past couple months start to unfold right in front of our eyes. And it's so important now that we're seeing the break of some of these key levels on the traditional markets, because that will definitely influence a bigger sell-off for crypto. What does that mean? Buying opportunities. That's all I really am focused on right now. I would love to get some downwards pressure, some last minute accumulations. We're not anywhere near oversold right now by any means on Bitcoin. We do see that in some cases for altcoins, but remember, when an altcoin sells off 30, 40, 50% from current levels, it could quickly jump back up 100% in just a single trading week. This is the type of essence we're in right now, guys. So I'll say it in plain English. We could have a very fast move down and be bought back up just as quickly. That's why I'm putting so much emphasis on this buying opportunity as something to take action in. Because when we move into an election year, we typically see a very powerful Q1, especially when we move and pivot into Q2 with March and April. So we don't want to be asleep at the wheel right now. This is the perfect time to have, some dry paper ready to deploy. And, well, I hope you are paying attention to this. I hope you don't get scared by any FUD, because that's what the average investor is going to get sucked into right now. They are consistently in a whirlpool of bread and circus, static, and fear porn, and it's continuing to make them wait and wait and wait when some of the best buying opportunities are shown right to their face. So here in the wolf pack, we're not falling for those tricks. We're not falling for the deceit. We know that it is best to buy when it is boring or when there's blood in the streets. And with crypto, I'm not really anticipating too much of a dramatic sell-off, much more for something like Bitcoin or ETH, just because our automatic rally phase that we had, we didn't really get overextended, which is a good thing. Obviously, the more overbought you get, well, you have deeper corrections. So right now, I'm just going to quickly move over to Bitcoin, because I already shared my thesis on a pullback for the Dow and how that could affect, obviously, it would just be holistically the S&P, Russell, NASDAQ. And I gave you those levels for the DXY, what we could be approaching. Quick note, actually, as we're making this video, look at the sell-off today on gold. We're actually seeing gold now back test a very important trend line that was mimicking what I was showing you before on the Dow. This prior sort of resistance, which flipped as a support. We're seeing that back test potentially coming in today, which is a major support level so far for gold. I am actually starting to get pretty interested in gold as a part of my overall investment thesis. I'm going to be sharing more on that probably later into October, but for now, stay on track. It's just obvious here that there is de-risking going on, even in what is considered to be a hedge against inflation, which is what gold is always touted to be. So getting back to this, we have Bitcoin here sitting at about 26.2. Multiple rejections off of a prior support level. We saw this pattern and structure. I'm going to go ahead and extend this chart out. Holding this major support level for the entire year. It broke in the middle of August, breaking down, and now we've had this support level, which is probably about, we're looking at almost 2 months, finally broke through it. Here we are. We've gotten rejected off of it twice today for the third time. 3 rejections with some space in between confirms a resistance. This is in fact a resistance line. So the fact we can't get over the 382 fib, it's showing weakness, it's struggling, but the volume is low. So Bitcoin, I'm not anticipating much more dramatic of a sell-off from here. I mean, maybe we would get a gift that comes below the 236 into 20K. I know a lot of people right now, they want like Bitcoin to go to like zero. You know, there's a lot of that energy. Also, there's a lot of energy of people that are analysts that do maybe follow some TA of other crypto influencers out there that are talking about sub 15K Bitcoin. But the one thing that they're missing is the evidence of solar cycles and lunar cycles and the behavior of Bitcoin. And that's why what we're doing here is it's holistic, because we're including the esoteric, we're including the astrology inside of all of this, and we're not disregarding patterns that have been 100% accurate. So when we're looking at bull runs, it's always during a solar cycle. When we look at bear markets, it's always during a lunar cycle. As of April 20th of this year, we are in a solar cycle. So what this tells me is any lows that we got during the solar cycle are in fact the cycle lows for Bitcoin, not for everything else. If Bitcoin was to pull back here down to 22K, that can really harm the altcoins right now, because that's just the energy we're in before the next Bitcoin halving. This is cyclical. It happens every time. You only need to study a little bit to go a long way. It's like Pareto's principle, right? The 80-20 rule. Most people aren't even getting that under their belt. They're not even building those fundamentals. They're just purely following along other people's thesis. So this is why here we're preaching self-reliance. We're trying to teach you a skill. We're trying to have you walk away from this so that you could do it on your own and that you don't need to rely on my work, my art. That's really what I'm about here. I want every single one of you to become self-reliant, know how to read these charts on your own, know how to decode on your own, know how to develop your own investment thesis. That's what makes our community stronger. So I really think that what we're going through right here is going to be a pivot into a lot of news and stories and sensationalism to push this market down exoterically, but you guys know the real reason why this is happening. It is the end of Jubilee already. We have this critical time between Yom Kippur, which was 2 days ago, the Day of Atonement, and this upcoming solar eclipse. That is it. That is the most powerful time frame to consider. The month of October is most likely the most obvious month for major corrections, and also we could be ending off Q4 exactly where we were trading at today, no matter even if we got a deeper sell-off. So I am more than prepared for what is about to occur. I hope you guys are taking notes and you are clearing your head, getting away from the distractions, seeing this with clarity. There's going to be a lot of FUD coming soon. Don't get distracted. Keep an eye on this 25,000 level for Bitcoin. If we start to close weekly candles below 25K, that is absolutely a sign of weakness, and more than likely we're going to range back to 22. Anything lower than the 236 is a gift. Now, anything lower than the 236 will really punch down ETH and XRP. So we're going to move over into that right now. Okay. ETH continuing its downtrend, looking way weaker on the horizontal structure than Bitcoin was. This sell-off that we got here into the 382 and then back to back to back, about 4 red weekly closes for ETH on new lows. Recently, on this recent weekly close, we had another red candle. Now we're right back into this 1500 level. I suspect that if this 1500 level breaks, it'll be similar to like Bitcoin breaking below 2500, and we will smack straight into the 236 again. Anything lower than the 236 for ETH is a gift. It's a buying opportunity at this time. Of course, we can go lower. Of course, we can double bottom. But when we talk about buying opportunities, we're not just talking about one big buy-in. We're talking about dollar cost averaging. Again, you need to have a plan. So my crypto mastermind course over on my website, watersabove.com, that course that shows up at the front of my website will teach you everything you need to know about developing your own investment thesis, create your own portfolio, how to exit the market with a free exit strategy blueprint that's included in it, and then all the TA lessons you need to know to go from a beginner to advanced. So if that's something you're interested in, that's over on my website. There are discount codes available, 10% off for your first order. Or if you're a Patreon supporter, you get 20% off my courses. So for those that have joined recently or are planning to join, again, I have that new great American Eclipse Decoded coming out soon. You're not going to want to miss that. By being a Patreon supporter, you'll get all of my Red Pill podcasts, plus that new decode, all the other past decodes I've released, and 20% off my courses. So Just letting you know right now is the most important time to be educated on how to take action. If you do not have the ingredients, you cannot cook. It's really important. Most people are blind right now. They have no idea what's going on. And this is a signal to me that there's going to be really dramatic FUD talking about over exaggerated price targets. And it's going to get people to not take action. So it works the same way in both directions. When there's extreme greed in the market, there's always going to be someone who's more greedy. Again, it's the reminder of the day. Don't get distracted. This is so crucial right now. So ETH, anything below the 236, same thing with Bitcoin. Buying opportunity, dollar cost average. Don't try to get the bottom. Don't try to sell the top. It's impossible. Always exit the market the same way you got in, which is with a layered tier approach. We're getting over to XRP now. 50 cents seems to be holding well, although I've spoken many times, if we cannot get back above this level right here, around 54 cents, to anticipate a test to the 236 and slightly lower. And I think right here around 41 cent XRP is a incredible opportunity that I'm personally waiting for. It's about an additional 18% sell-off. So that is my key buying level for XRP. Also, another perk for anyone who's part of my Patreon, you get access to see whenever I'm buying or selling. I share live updates whenever I buy or sell any investments, so just wanted to let you know that. Getting back to this XRP opportunity, this is going to be really, really important. I don't think XRP will be able to go too much lower right now just because of how suppressed it is. And of course, we've had some clarity since Ripple is no longer, or XRP is no longer deemed a security, but we still have Ripple and the SEC case going on. With that being said, I don't really think we should be seeing lower than 36. Even if we're going to see Bitcoin go to 20K, seeing lower than 36 XRP would be extremely disappointing, and it would prove that the retail investors aren't actually behind this thing. So I have my own thesis. I'm looking to conservatively start chunking in around 41 cents. I believe I can get most of my buying done before the end of this year, and then sky's the limit on XRP moving into 2024. I'm incredibly bullish on this token into the Q4 timeframe of 2024. I think even by Q3, we could be seeing new all-time highs for XRP. So this is just buying opportunities right now, even at the levels we're at today. I'm going to sign off right here in today's video. I wanted to make this a shorter one because I wanted to get as much data across as quickly as possible. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and please leave a comment below. Let me know your favorite decode that I've released over this year. Love to know some of your thoughts, and I'm looking forward to releasing that new Great American Eclipse Decoded in a week. I'll be catching you guys very soon. Have a beautiful rest of your day in the Matrix. Much love.